People who actually dressed up as a creepy clown during the 2016 clown sightings. Why did you do it? I remember when this was happening, Facebook posts came out about someone dressed as a clown on my road. I lived on a kinda secluded road, so the rednecks in the area wanted to go hunting. I'm assuming because there were such big strong men to hunt down a supposed child prankster. Well, it turns out the clown was a mentally ill man that ran off in the woods and had been missing for like 3 days. And to make matters worse, the caretaker for the man never made a missing persons report for the man. About this time of year, nearly Halloween but not too spooky yet, was homecoming for the local high school. I was at my boyfriend's house and his younger sister had a bunch of people over after the dance. They were all hanging out upstairs. I knew they were the type to scare easy, so I hatched a plan. I did some shopping at Walmart, picked up a purge mask and some face paint, along with the classic rainbow puffy hair clowns have. I painted the mask to look like a clown, donned the wig, and just used a black hoodie. With help from his parents, I acquired a ladder and crawled up onto the porch roof, just outside her window, and banged on the siding while leaning to the window. Poor friend was the first to see me, let out a shrieking clown, and basically it was around 7 girls that sounded like they were getting murdered. I took off the mask when one came at the window with a hammer and they have not trusted me since. Doesn't help that after the first IT remake, I put a red balloon in her room. Holy frick, you're evil. I didn't dress up as one, but my neighborhood was covered in them for about 2 weeks. I lived in a neighborhood that was right on the edge of a sketchy area, so I was used to some interesting characters, but these suckers scared the living crap out of me. I let a friend and her 2 kids going through a rough time move in with me prior to this, and I was watching them for her while she was at work. The daughter, 4, and I were in the kitchen while I was cooking dinner and the baby was asleep. We'd seen the clowns a few times at the end of the road under a streetlight that was blinking, but they never got that close to the house. But I was already on high alert because of it. I was cutting veggies and there was a window directly in front of me, and I hadn't been looking out of it, but I felt someone staring at me. I look up, and like something out of a freaking horror movie, that clown is staring up at me from my driveway like 6 inches from my window. I had a giant knife in my hand and I tried not to lose it because I didn't want to scare Cammy, friend's kid, so I kind of just held up the knife and stood right where I was and stared back. This mother never moved. He just stayed right where he was for several minutes. I backed up and got my gun out of the case and called 911. They never found him, but it scared the living crap out of me and I was a nervous wreck having those kids by myself that night. Frick those clowns. Not me, but 2 people dressed up as clowns, and in our arch room we have these large windows, and the 2 people dressed up as clowns jumped up at the windows and the school actually went on lockdown. The 2 clowns got arrested 15 minutes after. I only did it once and it was to scare my friend while he was out walking his dog at about 11 PM. I texted his mom earlier that day and asked if she could make him walk the dog late, and she did. I stood at the end of my driveway, which is about a 1/4 mile long and surrounded by thick woods on either side, so you couldn't see very far into it. I crouched behind the pad-mounted transformer box giggling like a little kid as I heard him approach. I waited for him to pass, then crept down the road behind him carefully as to not make any noise. After a minute of careful creeping, I was right behind him, so I yelled and wrapped him up in a bear hug from behind. Let me tell you, he freaked the frick out. He jumped about 3 feet up in the air and shrieked like a little girl. I went perfectly until I was tackled by his Great Dane and drowned in slobber. She recognized me when I took the mask off so I didn't get mauled. This is like a Scooby-Doo episode, lol. My brother actually did it. He dressed up as one and sat in a forest in our town. I ran into him, not knowing it was his hobby, and was scared shitless. I just asked him this and he said because our town is full of shitheads and I want to scare them. That's my brother for ya. Technically I did it in 2014. I worked for Warner Brothers as an intern. I answered an ad I saw on my way to work through the lot for a marketing campaign, but they were oddly vague about what it was for except for viral marketing. I now assume it was for IT. I had been a creepy clown for Halloween 5 years earlier and still had a costume, and they offered me $100 per a day I did it. I had to be photographed at least once and put on social media to get paid. It actually was really fun. Kind of like working in a haunted house, though I learned to mostly go for teenagers. Much younger and they would be too scared. Much older and they couldn't take the joke and would be angry. I did it 3 times in total, but only got paid for the first 2 times, mainly in Santa Monica and Venice Beach. I have no idea if the 2016 people were part of the same campaign or maybe were inspired by the campaign or if it was completely unrelated. I did sign a NDA, but hey, it's been 5 years and I really don't think they are coming after me or anything. Warner Brothers wants to know your location. I had a mate do it for YT. He was trying pretty hard to get a decent view count to kickstart the channel. Think he was on 2-3k subs. He rounded up some friends, invited me. I chose to not to partake, and set it all up in a multi-story car park local to us. 1 million views. He cleared 1 million views on this clown video, despite it being fake and set up. Bearing in mind his highest view count was 14k, and he averaged 500,1000 on new videos. He ended up getting publicity on local news, a visit from the cops, and a jump to around 6-8k subs. He thought about doing it again for real, but decided otherwise. Think the warning from the cops was enough. My friend did it. He looked into windows to creep out whoever was inside, and the moral for him was to never climb 2-story houses. Go on. Giving out candy at Halloween. Didn't know about the sightings till later but was pretty upsetting by the kids all screaming "Don't stop mom" and "Go go go." Not me, but I saw it on the news that someone dressed as a killer clown posted on Facebook saying that they'll go to random school name and kill some people there. That school had a lockdown. Don't know what happened after that. That's kinda what happened where I live. It was at the high school just down the road. I dressed up as a clown for Halloween, just because, and I got hit so many times by people thinking I was one of those killer clowns. Ruined 11-year-old kid's candy collection. I live in a college town and the clowns were everywhere. It was an awful time. Walking across campus one night, I saw a car speeding down the street with a drunk clown hanging out the sunroof swinging around a wooden baseball bat. At the stop sign they scared a couple of pedestrians and I heard the driver yelling at the drunk clown to get back inside because they were only trying to scare the frat girls. Not sure why scaring frat girls was the goal, but further down the street the clown got out and started chasing some women, so I guess they accomplished their goal. It started as a dare, then we became a group of 5 that would just roam around town from 6 AM since we worked and got off late. The town's police knew it was us and would joke around saying one day they might shoot us by accident. We stopped the day after. My friend did this because he is a tortured soul. He's currently unable to hang out until after 2 PM today because he's at a safety training for a haunted house that he's worked at the past couple of years. They must be ready to start back up for the season. My fraternity brother Tucker did. He was trying to become an influencer and used the frat to make content. He thought it was okay because he saw that as doing work. He also grew up with 4 brothers who were always messing with each other. Other than that, there wasn't much else to it. In the end it amounted to nothing because the fraternity's regional director made him delete everything. I think for some dumb reason I thought it would be funny to play into the meme. I'm a circus performer, but I remember it pissed off the majority of my performer friends because it delegitimized the study they have done to be where they are. I always thought with this clown crap, in the UK it was simply a matter of time before some young T jumped out in front of a couple, like a scaffolder in his 40s or something, and scared his wife, then absolute carnage would ensue. And the clown screaming mate it was just for my Insta whilst he got the living crap beat out of him. And that's pretty much why it stopped, lol. I work at a school district's police department as a nighttime dispatcher and we have 4,500 plus cameras monitoring all campuses. Back during the clown craze, these 4 kids decide to break into a campus each wearing a creepy clown mask to hide their faces. Needless to say, in that initial moment of seeing them on camera, my heart dropped. No one wants to see multiple clowns armed with baseball bats at 3 in the morning. I'm sure it was way more terrifying on the officer's end. The kids were caught and when asked why they did what they did they said, "I don't know, just wanted to." Don't think there's a lot of thought behind most clown masks. I can't speak for all of us creepy clowns, but I did it to seek out unwitting victims for cartoonish torture and eventual slap-happy zany murder. 911 dispatcher here. I took the first clown sighting call in my county. Let me tell you, the caller and I both lost our crap when I asked, okay, I need to get the suspect's description, and she said UHH, rainbow hair, a red nose, some pretty big shoes. She was laughing cause it sounded ridiculous and crying at the same time. She was so scared. It was a good call. She was fun. I'm from the Netherlands. While this was happening, there was this story that got huge here. So a kid of 10 and his older brother, I'd say 15 of how he looked, encountered one of those clowns. The older brother sent his brother home and beat the crap out of the clown and got him into a hospital. The whole country was proud of the teenager and he got in zero trouble. Did get on the news everywhere though. I like my country. I didn't do it, but me and my wife had a run-in with one. At the time I lived on a back road in the woods, and at night it would get dark except for this one street light. Anyways, we used to run this road either at night or early morning, and always alone because someone has to watch the kids. One night this clown popped out on her under the street light and I heard her scream from a mile away. So every night I run this track hoping I get my turn, and I did. I was so mad I threatened to rape and kill him because it seemed like the worst thing you can say to someone. He ran home and told his mom. She came to my house, then heard the rest of the story, and his dad beat his butt. The way he was doing this, he's very lucky he didn't get shot. I'm pretty new to Reddit, but this seems like it's blown up a bit. For clarification, this kid was tall and big and didn't seem like a kid, but I'm not sure I would have done anything different even if I knew he was. There were 2 incidents prior to this that I didn't know about until afterwards, where cars almost wrecked and police were called. This actually saved me because he didn't tell his mom about the clown part, so when I did it all came together for her. I should also mention that he did chase my wife for maybe 100 yards or so. At the end of the day, if you frick with someone you lose the right to complain about their reaction. I had a run-in with one back in the day. I was walking back from an afternoon hike when the sun was just starting to set. When me and my now ex-girlfriend got to the parking lot, we saw one of those bastards hang out at the edge of the woods. Needless to say, we booked it right the heck out of there. I did it because I used to be so scared shitless of clowns growing up. I figured if I became what I feared the most, there wouldn't be anything left to fear. At least that's what younger me thought, what made sense back then. Also, it was gonna be $3 burritos at Chipotle for Halloween, and I love Chipotle. So I did it to get rid of my fear and for burritos. Hopefully not too late to the party, but here it is anyway. I live in the countryside where there are cornfields all around, so there's not much to do to begin with. My friends and I thought it would be funny to dress up in clown costumes, get some pitchforks, super ripe tomatoes, and hop in the bed of my friend's truck. We also tied some balloons to the truck to keep with tradition. Our idea was to hide the truck in my friend's cornfield, where we would wait for a car to pass by and then pull out behind them and tail them for a mile or two. While one person drove, we had 4 guys in the back waving pitchforks and launching the occasional tomato at their car. We were only able to do this for one weekend because by the time we went back to school the following Monday, everyone were talking about the truck filled with clowns chasing people down Amwell Road. We then heard from one kid whose father is a township police officer that the police were looking at starting an investigation if the clowns continued to chase people. My friend Joe freaked out because he is not the kind of guy to get in trouble, so we decided to end our fun and get rid of the costumes. Luckily, the truck we used was my friend's farm truck, so we didn't have worry about someone recognizing it out on the road. A year went by and nothing happened. When we went off to college the following year, we find out some group of guys decided to do what we did, except they got caught when they pulled out behind a cop. From what I heard, they were taken to the police station and spent the night in jail. That weekend was probably the craziest thing we ever did that got the whole town talking. Killer clowns want to scary people, not other clowns. It's like a zombie horde, they go after people, not zombies, so some of them probably used it for defense. Just need to pop to the shop quickly. Puts on clown immunity clown mask. LOL, my friend actually did it. We live in a small college town and his only reason was he thought it would be funny. So he would stand around campus late at night, near the walking trails, etc. One night he thought it'd be really funny to go into one of the dorm elevators, dress up at 3 a.m. and wait for people to get on. A drunk guy proceeded to walk on, got scared, and punched him in the face. End of that LOL. I already had a clown in my front seat. My college sent the security team after me because people were reporting sightings of the clown at campuses. Spelling. I'd never even been to, and that it was scaring children. So I tore the costume off and left it as a skeleton. They complained about that too. But it's a nursing school with skeletons inside. So I ignored all following complaints. That was like 4 years ago. I'm a returning student, and on the 1st of October I will be dressing Mrs. Bones up as a clown again. I'm not sure if this was real or not, but a ton of stuff with the clowns went down in my school district. In my intermediate school, the clowns said that they were coming that day, and when recess started the vice principal had to gather all of us up and say how it was safe for us to go outside. Apparently there was a sighting of them after school. In my high school, 2 things happened. First, in the gym, there was a statue of a clown that was randomly there. No one knew how it got there, but a statue of a clown was there. Second, there's a field by the top of the high school. Turns out that during one of the gym classes, my sister was in it. They were playing something on the field, and in the bushes right by the field a few kids saw a clown hiding. The gym teacher stayed outside anyways, and the clown just chilled in the bushes watching the kids. That's my stories. Sorry for the mobile formatting. If you are new to the channel, you can subscribe. I publish new videos every day. Until then, check another video. Bye for now.